AM 1050, News Talk KCAA.
Coming up next, Sin Censura, the Three Guys Rant.
You're ready for the pain and feel completely dirty when you're done. iRant, are you ready for blast off?
I told you not to eat Indian food, man.
I already blasted off prematurely.
We are
The Three Guys Rant.
Arvin, Mike, and Phil.
I already feel dirty. Call us at 855-693-GUYS.
And if you didn't understand that, let me try to do it in English, because that was Puerto Rican. You are listening to the Three Guys Rant. 855-69-3-GUYS. That's 693-4897.
693?
I love me some Three Guys.
All right. Welcome back to another edition of the Three Guys Rant. NBC News Radio, KCAA, 1050 AM. I hope everybody's awake and heard that. And I want to start off by saying to everybody, thank you. We always say nobody listens, and I still think nobody does. But I checked out the numbers this morning, and I got to say, our videos on YouTube have exceeded 85,000 views. We have almost 1,500 subscribers on YouTube alone. Over 40,000 followers on Twitter, almost 20,000 followers on Facebook, and we're hitting different corners of the world. So I'm going to say they listen because they have no idea what the hell we're saying because they probably don't even speak English. But thank you anyways.
I'm not sure you speak English.
I'm not sure the listeners care, but that's all right.
You know what? Whether the radio is just on 1050 AM and they're just driving home hoping that there isn't an accident, I'm okay with that because it still counts. It registers on some radar somewhere. So I'm happy to hear that. Right. I know we have a jam-packed show, but I do got to say my hero, George Lopez. I don't know if you heard what happened, but he I feel a little what's the word?
I have no idea what you're trying to say.
Payback. I feel good because what happened to him happened to me in Vegas when I went out to go see him in a casino floor.
But why is that payback?
Yeah, that's the part I don't understand.
I don't know if it's necessarily payback, but it's sweet joy.
But is that a true story or was that just rumors?
No, it's a true story. Story. I looked into it.
So if you verified it, then it's got to be true.
If I verified it, it's absolutely true. But for anybody that doesn't know what I'm talking about,
not only that knows, not only will you learn how to speak English here properly, when Arvin does his dissertation, you learn things.
Now, I don't know what the hell you just said. That's too many $10 words. But for anybody that loves George Lopez, he was actually out in Canada. He was performing. I think it was Thursday night of last week, if I'm not mistaken. And then he did a second performance on Friday night. Now, the whole thing was that I guess he started drinking. He did a show. Afterwards, kept drinking and ended up passing out in the middle of the casino floor and just laid out to the point where people were taking pictures. It hit the webosphere. And they ended up calling security. The Mounties, because they're not cops up there, ended up showing up and taking them in. There was no what do you call it? Charges pressed? So pressed charges?
Why are you asking us? It's your story.
I know. You verified it.
I verified it.
Didn't you say you had to call Rob Ford to verify the story?
You know what? That's where the tie-in is because apparently he says he doesn't remember anything, but the one thing he does remember from the whole event is when the Mounties took him in, they said, hey, if you keep it up, you can run for mayor in Canada. That's the tie-in. So anyways, I gotta say, I'm happy to hear it because the last time I was in Vegas, see, there's a picture. I mean, he's like passed out on the floor.
You want to explain to people who don't know what picture you're talking about?
Oh, anybody listening to my sweet voice, make sure to check out the threeguysrant.com or kcaaradio.com, and you'll see everything we're talking about. So again, it put a smile on my face because the last time I went to go see him in person, I passed out on a casino floor and missed the whole show.
All right, let's go to something more fun than you. Rasha, are you there?
Hello.
Rasha hung up. She's like, screw these guys.
No, I'm here. Somebody pushed the wrong button. Hey, guys.
How are you?
Hey.
I am great. I was trying to follow Arvin's little Vegas story here.
None of us could. We don't know what the hell. We got maps and diagrams over here and still don't know what the hell he was talking about.
Me too. Okay. So it wasn't just me, right?
No.
All I was trying to say is that George Lopez passed out in a casino. That's all I was saying.
You know, we could have done that 2
Did you
hours
tweet
ago
this
and be done
picture?
with it.
What's that?
Did you tweet this picture?
You know what? I will. For anybody listening, I'm going to tweet it. It'll be up in the next 2 minutes.
Now, the important thing is,
right.
can you crash Twitter with it?
Exactly, and that was what I was going to talk about.
Are we going to
So were
talk
you guys
about?
at the Oscars?
Are we going to talk about Adele Dazeem?
Phil, are you going to start talking about things that mean nothing to men?
It'll mean something to Rasha.
You guys are horrible.
That's all that matters. Go ahead, Rasha. I don't want to interrupt you any further.
No, not at all. Well, obviously you guys have heard about the big Ellen DeGeneres selfie that hit Twitter and actually broke the record. She had about 100,000 retweets within 5 minutes.
Yeah, it was something obscene.
1.9 million retweets and nearly 900,000 favorites. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, I believe she exceeded the 1 million mark within the hour. The last time I noticed, I think it was closer to 2.5 million within like 2 hours of the initial tweet. I have no idea where it stopped.
You're right, I mean, for people who are tuning in right now, if they missed it, which I can't imagine anybody would, it was a selfie with Kevin Spacey, Julia Roberts, Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie. Oh my gosh, Bradley Cooper, Marilyn Streep. It was an amazing picture, actually, a lot of fun. But did you guys know, the reason I'm actually bringing this up is this was kind of a bit of a planned tweet.
Oh, that I
Did you
didn't
guys hear
know.
about this?
No. Yeah, Samsung paid, what, $20 million for that?
Yes, it was a Samsung. So the tweet, the way she did it, that was up to her. But apparently Samsung executives had actually trained Ellen on how to use the Samsung Galaxy during some point in the Oscars so that she could actually tweet some posts out. And they said that they would donate $3 million to charities.
Wait a minute.
From
Wait a
all
minute.
this.
So the charity gets 3 and she got 20 for being trained how to use a phone.
No, she didn't get 20.
No, she didn't get 20.
They paid for
she didn't
product
get
placement.
20. They spent the money on the advertising for this. Basically, they told her that they would help donate money to some of her favorite charities. And I think as I'm talking to you guys, I'm just checking. I believe that one of her charities is St. Jude's, if I'm not mistaken, and that's where St. Jude's and the Humane Society. So they are donating $1.5 million to those two charities that were chosen by her.
Okay, then I'm not completely upset about it.
Yeah. So it wasn't completely unplanned. I guess there's always some type of marketing scheme to something, right?
Absolutely, always.
Yep.
Now
are you guys fans with Dancing with the Stars? Any of you guys? I know Arvin can dance, right?
Rasha, I have a bone to pick with that because there's already a clear winner in that whole thing.
Oh, there is. So you guys have obviously heard about the lineup for season 18, right? Which starts in 2 weeks.
The only thing that caught my attention is that I heard that there's professional ice skating dancers that are going to be part of the lineup.
Yeah, it's crazy. They've got Meryl Davis, who's an Olympic ice dancer. But then, I mean, look at the lineup, guys. You've got Sean Avery, who's a former pro hockey player. You've got, do you remember DJ from Full House?
Yes.
Isn't Cameron?
Candace Cameron?
Right. I was going to say Cameron Diaz.
Yeah, she's on. And then you remember the beautiful Winnie from, what's that show?
The Wonder Years?
Years?
Well, I've heard that before, but that's a different story altogether.
Oh, okay. Danica McKellar. And then we've got a swimmer. We've got Billy D. Williams, who's, 76 years old?
Rasha, I have 2 questions.
Yes.
What the hell are the conditions to get put on the show? Because that makes no sense, that lineup. And number 2, if the ice skater can get gold on ice, what the hell are they going to be able to do? Can you imagine what they're going to do when they can actually dance in regular shoes?
You know what? I think that's a great question you bring up. And by the way, before we move on, it's Charlie White. You're right. So there's 2 Olympic ice dancers. I think now, as a dancer myself, I got to tell you, that's 2 different things: dancing on ice and dancing on a regular floor.
I'm putting my bet, all my money on that individual right now. I'm going to say that they're going to win it.
I mean, it's definitely. I mean, we got a snowboarder in there and another musician. So I'm not really sure about this lineup. I don't know how these guys are going to do.
You know what? Why don't we ask Arvin? I mean, because he was in the show once before. What season were you in the show?
Oh yeah, Arvin, that's right.
I already know where you're going with it, and screw
he, of
you,
course,
man.
He went in dressed as Chaz Bono.
I knew it.
You know,
I knew that's where you were going with it.
So, how was it, Arvin?
Give us a scoop, Arvin.
I got to say, the goodie bags that they let me take home were just fantastic. That's all I'm going to say.
That's all you got to say?
That's all I'm saying.
Hey,
All right,
Rasha.
well, we're going to see if your predictions are right on who's going to win this one, because I think I really need to watch the first episode to kind of predict. It's going to be interesting. That's all I got to say. It's a very interesting lineup. And you know what's going to be crazy, guys, is that Brooke Burke, she's not there anymore as the host.
No, it's going to be the girl from ESPN, right?
Yeah.
Erin Andrews?
Aaron Andrews, yeah.
Erin Andrews.
Yeah, so no more Brooke. So that should be kind of interesting to see how the show plays out, too, without Brooke there. Because I kind of liked her.
I don't watch the show. I just read the news.
Yeah,
so
I don't either. So.
For me, it didn't matter to me. Rasha, before the segment ends, I wanted to ask you what your take was, or did you laugh about the whole Adele Dazeem incident on Sunday?
You know what? I did laugh about it, and I thought it was funny for the moment. But then after that, I was just like, can we please? I mean, that's all we're still talking about in the media. That's all that's still being tweeted about. 3 days out, and they're still harping on this.
But
so I don't know. I kind of think it's done. It had its fun moment, and we moved on. What were your guys' feelings about it?
I don't even know what you guys are talking about. I didn't watch the show.
Idina Menzel.
Okay.
Okay, she's the voice of one of the actors in Frozen.
Okay.
The little girl. And then she
Let It
also
Go.
sings Let It Go.
Okay.
From Frozen.
Right. So John Travolta came up to introduce her.
That's what they were talking about.
So he comes out and he says, that she's electrically charged, and he made a reference to Wicked, which, okay, she was Elphaba, which Arvin still has no clue about. So then he says, the lovely Adele Dazeem. And Claude and I
They
look at
totally
each other.
butchered her name.
Yeah, and the crowd kind of laughs, and people are wondering what the hell's going on. And afterwards, they asked him, he's like, I don't know what I saw. But so after she finished singing, then you had Ellen coming out, and she's like, that was Idina Menzel. Because Idina Menzel can really sing. She said her name 2 or 3 times. And
I don't think it was just saying, wasn't there a couple people that just, I don't know what the hell came out of their mouth?
No, his was the big guy for the night.
So it was.
Yeah, his was a big mess up. I mean, that was a huge mess up.
So between
people have just been, and it's if you guys on Facebook too, it's hilarious. Like Facebook and Twitter, people are now like coming up with different names and skewing around with their own names and stuff. I think it's hilarious, but it's just like, come on, guys, I'm over it. Let's talk about something else.
Rasha, can you answer a question? What the hell's going on with John Travolta's hair?
With who?
With his hair, John Travolta.
God. He's definitely going to see the wrong hairstylist.
But come on, you got to admit, that hair does not move.
You know what? That hair should have its own Twitter account.
It's like he's wearing a helmet.
Is it even real? I mean, it could be like a wig that's just kind of made like that. He just takes it off and puts it back on.
I'm gonna say he's probably bald, and the little hair that he has is probably all white.
Yeah, and then he just sticks this thing on. But before I go, guys, last little thing that's also been hitting the waves all day today. They're launching a show on OWN, Oprah Winfrey's network, with Lindsay Lohan.
Yes.
I don't know how that's going to do. Not a fan at all. It's debuting on March 9th, and it's interesting because you've actually got Oprah telling her to cut the BS. So It should be interesting to see how this show does on that network.
Rasha, thank you so much for calling in. The segment's coming down. We look forward to hearing from you this week.
All right. See you soon. Have a good one, guys.
You too.
Do we have your attention? When it comes to tequila, 2 things matter: heart and passion. Never compromising integrity for mass production. Number 1 Tequila delivers the goods. Taste the heart and passion of Mexico in every bottle. We make it right. We make it fun. Superior tequila. There's only number 1. There's only number 1. There's only number 1.
The Share Foundation is the health division of the Coy Chiropractic Institute, a 501c3 509A2 public nonprofit organization dedicated to the growth and development of the natural health care services. In particular, through the chiropractic profession, offering health services at the Share clinics in the greater Los Angeles area. Your donations can help in expanding these facilities across the nation, research programs, and public education, thus offering a solution to the many of the health challenges we face. Your donations are tax-deductible and can be sent through our website at www.sharefoundation.com. That's www.cherfoundation.com by clicking on the donation button. Thank you.
A home is the biggest investment in most people's lives. Buying or selling should be a positive experience.
Whether you want to be a wealthy real estate investor or just trying to find a place to call home, at AJR & Associates, we focus on the client's needs.
We understand the market better than most. Let us bring the value to you and make the right choice.
AJR & Associates, making your dream house a reality. Call us today for a free consultation at 562-882-1976. Or you can log on to www.agrrealtors.com.
With a track record of great results, bringing knowledge, wisdom, and expertise to you. Hablamos español.
All right, we're back from the break. For all of you who wanted to go back in time.
Is that what the hell that was?
That was Mr. Roboto, baby, bringing us back from the break. I know that we're going to have a special guest right now call in. You know, what's funny is, let me just comment. Every week of late, Arvin has been doing a better and better job about bringing on guests, getting people on the phone. And once again, he's managed to bring a guest who makes the rest of us feel and look like slackers.
Speak for yourself, my friend.
Really? Go ahead. Introduce him.
Pete, how you doing, buddy? You on the line with us?
Hello.
There he is. How you doing, Pete?
Good.
Now,
Sorry, I lost you there for a second.
No worries. And for anybody listening, I'm gonna try not to butcher your last name. It's Pete Gustin.
Yep, Gustin.
Pete Gustin. Now, anybody listening is probably gonna recognize your voice. But for anybody that is not sure, Pete Gustin is a voiceover artist, and audio production guru. And I love that title. Is that a title that you gave yourself?
Yeah, I kind of had to come up with voiceover artist, voiceover actor. There's tons of those, and I also take care of tons of production for radio stations and pro sports franchises. And I was sitting there trying to figure out what the heck I am. I'm like, audio production guy, audio production dude. I don't know.
You know what? I like
guru. Seem to fit.
If it's not guru, I like audio production. Dude, I like that a lot. But I gotta say, your resume is off the chart impressive just to start off with. But I had actually come across an article that they did on you on talkers.com. And like, okay, there's tons of voiceover guys, and I just kept reading up. But once I got into the nitty gritty of the story, it's impressive because how would you describe it? Now, were you born with I'm not even sure what it's called. Can you tell us more about?
Do you know what you want to say?
Yeah. It's if I say it, I'm gonna butcher it.
It's called, the broad spectrum term of what I have is called macular degeneration. And it got renamed when I became a little bit older. I was actually the youngest diagnosed case in America. They caught it when I was in 3rd grade. And it's usually something that your grandmother gets. You get 60, 70, 80 years old, and you got congenital heart failure, and you got your bones are aching, and oh yeah, grandma's got macular degeneration too. It's just kind of one of those throw-ins that happens with age.
Right.
But for me, I got it the moment I was born. I was pre-programmed to have my eyesight start degenerating, and they did rename it to Stargardt's disease, which isn't really any easier to say or spell. But that just basically means macular degeneration for kids.
Now, for anybody listening, because I know that's originally what I thought, isn't that just a fancy word of glaucoma? And shouldn't you have a medical marijuana card by now?
Well, I could try and pull that, but I don't think it would work out. Glaucoma is on the front of the eye. Mine, the macular and the retina terms people might be familiar with, is the back of the eye. So technically, my eyesight is okay. I mean, I don't even wear glasses, not because I don't need them, but because they wouldn't really do anything. My lens is fine, my eyeballs are fine, but the information isn't getting to my brain properly. It's all scrambled and blurry and doesn't work.
See, now it makes more sense to me. I didn't quite understand it before. And again, all that set aside, the most impressive part is that you actually do voiceovers, and I guess the best way to describe it is you actually have to read what you're speaking.
Yeah, that was the tricky part of the whole career path. I mean, ever since I hit puberty and my voice went from sounding like a little girl to sounding like it does now, everywhere I went, people, oh, you should be on the radio. You sound like a movie trailer guy. You should do that. And not only was I built for it vocally, but I loved it. The more and more I got into radio and broadcast, I kept thinking, this is really cool. But when you come out of the gate and you want to be a voiceover guy, you know, you don't get a movie trailer right away. You don't get a job. You're just kind of sitting in a studio by yourself and saying things and putting things together, demo reels. And it wasn't until about a year or two into doing it that I realized that at some point I'd have to read other people's scripts, which is very tricky for someone that can't read words off of a page.
Right. Now, I know it's everything that while you're speaking, we'll actually have your reel playing in the background. So anybody that's actually streaming us online can see everything that we're seeing. Alan, is that video up? Can we hear it? The one of him. We're gonna have a video here. I'm gonna see if I can get him to replay it. It actually explains how you do what you do. If you don't mind, just being on hold for a second here.
Well,
Sure.
well, he can tell us what he does. Why do we need the video?
Because he tells us in the video. Go ahead, Alan.
Gustin. I'm a voiceover guy, and I'm legally blind, diagnosed with macular degeneration at the age of 8. When I was 21 years old, I was told by a New York voiceover agent that I'd never be able to make it in this business because I can't read copy off of a page like everyone else. And for a while, I thought he was right. I almost gave up. You see, I'm not like everyone else. I don't do things like everyone else. In fact, how the hell am I even reading this right now? I'm not even looking at it. Well, take a listen.
This computerized voice is
reading the copy to me in my headphones, and after a solid 2 years of practice, that's one of the tricks I've taught myself in order to be able to read copy. So now, it's been 15 years since I met that agent, and you've probably heard my voice at some point in your life. You've heard me during the Super Bowl.
In a world that's perfect lies a perfect little town. See what happens at Reebok.com after the game.
You've heard me on an international ad campaign for Sony PlayStation.
Bring on the best of the best of the best.
Now, Pete, I gotta say, it's the more I looked into you, the more I've actually heard your voice in so many things and had no idea that was you. I mean, it's impressive, the resume. You've done everything from big name movies. I think you've done World War Z to, if I'm not mistaken, I hope I'm not online, like shows like Person of Interest and whatnot. I mean, we're talking about big movies and big shows.
I've just started auditioning for those big things, but it's a long, long road to hoe for anybody interested in getting into voiceovers. It's, again, not one of those things you walk into and start one day. You start from the very, very bottom. It's akin to deciding when you're 18 years old you want to be an actor, and you hop on a bus and you go to Los Angeles and you show up in Hollywood Boulevard and go, now what? But yeah, the biggest challenge for me was getting down there to New York, thinking I was going to be starting my voiceover career. I'd been doing okay locally and dealing with my eyesight issues, which weren't as bad as they are now at age 36 as they were when I was 21. But I got down there at 21 and got in this guy's office and thought I had a big, booming, cool voice and good acting skills. And he told me flat out, he's like, if you can't read copy off of the page like everybody else, you can't do this. It's not going to happen. Go home.
Now that brings up an interesting question. Do you obviously, I'm assuming you still have to do auditions for certain parts?
Oh yeah.
Now, is that something you have to physically go down there, or do you send in a demo, or how does that work for you now?
Well, these days, it was, back then, you were really going into the offices, and whoever your agent was, you'd audition right there in front of them, and they'd record it and mail it off to the client. But as technology started to evolve, it was really a lifesaver. I mean, really a lifesaver and career saver for me. When I was 21, MP3ing something to someone wasn't really done.
Right.
It wasn't really usable technology. The dial-up internet was just too darn slow. So the first thing that helped me was the internet speeds doubled, tripled, quadrupled, and I was able to work in my own studio with my own huge print fonts. But as I got into my mid-20s, my eyesight crapped out even more. I mean, it never stops. It just keeps getting worse and worse. Mid-20s, I was no longer able to read even the largest font. And that's when I actually decided to come up with this ear prompter thing that I use now. If I can't see anything, I mean, I've only got a couple other senses left, I figured, well, let's try the hearing thing. So I would have the computer read the copy to me. And for the first year I was doing it, I knew there was potential. I knew that it would be possible. But if you have a computer in your ear talking to you and giving you copy,
that's
you're trying to spit it back and not just recite it, but feel it, emote it, really deliver it. It's extraordinarily difficult. But I worked really hard at it because as my eyesight got worse and worse, I was, quickly realizing this is my only option here. I better make it work.
Yeah, that's it. I know probably about the only person that might be able to do it in this room is probably Phil, because I don't even think I'd be brave enough to even try it.
You know what's funny, and this is Phil talking, that obviously on a much smaller scale, and even though my Spanish is bad, but when Mike and I used to be medical interpreters, that's what you would do. You would listen to somebody in one ear and talk to the doctor in the other. So when I was listening to him do it,
is that why my medical records always got screwed up?
Right. Because your Spanish was so bad. But that's why, I was just saying, but listening to Pete, and I saw the one video where, like you said, you're listening to it. All I had to do was recite it. That's one thing. But what Pete had to do was put the emotion behind it, the timing, slow it down. That's an art. That's a specialty right there.
Now, Pete, how do you get the copy into your program or your machine?
I work on a PC. I'm a PC, and it comes in through an email, and I've got a reader program that'll tell me, you have an email from, tells me who it is, and then I copy all the text and put it into a simple MS Word document where, this is my big secret too, because I went through so many different voices. When I decided I was going to do this, I bought the most expensive, realistic, awesome voices that were on the market. And the problem was, the more realistic they were, in a world where one man has to save the human race, if you have a realistic voice and it's saying it realistically, in a world where one man has to save the human race, I would start to talk
just
like that stupid voice. So what I did is I reverted to the 1995 first text-to-speech voice that IBM ever came out with, and it was so god-awful that I wouldn't ever make the mistake of repeating after it. I just need to get the information into my head and then recite it the way that I needed to.
Now, Pete, we're coming down to the segment here, but before we actually go to commercial, how can people reach you? How can people find you? More importantly, how can people hire you?
You can find everything about me. I just redid my whole website, PeteGustin.com, PeteGustin.com, examples of my work. Examples of the press, people like you and a bunch of other interested folks, to my surprise, have been wanting to talk to me about this silly little career I have, and it's all up there on PeteGustin.com. All
right, awesome. Now, if you don't mind, can we do a click-through from our website to your website, put you right on our homepage?
Absolutely, that'd be great.
All right, perfect. And again, Pete, thank you for calling in. We'd love to do it again. Everybody, that was Pete Gustin. This is the Three Guys Rant here on NBC News Radio, KCAA 1050 AM, and we'll be back.
Hi, I'm Paul Lane, host of the KCAA Morning Show, and I'd like to take a few seconds to tell you about pollen bursts. You may not know, but I've been confined to a wheelchair for over 20 years, and I've always looked for ways to increase my energy, mental clarity, and just feel good. Well, I found it in pollen bursts. It's natural, delicious, and easy to take, and I think you should try some too. To find out more, email me at paul@kcaaradio.com. That's paul@kcaaradio.com. Hey, join me so we can burst together.
What's up, everyone? Sports Guru here. Sick of looking at the same old boring websites? Well, check out thenewsportsguru.com for all the hottest trending videos and all the biggest sports news. Become a VIP for only $4.99 and get premium access to everything the Sports Guru has to offer. The beautiful gurus, girls, all my biggest sports picks, and much more. So get off that porn site and check out thenewsportsguru.com.
Are we back?
Apparently,
when in the hell did we turn into the Art LeBeau show?
What's funny is how Alan has updated all of the intros and outros, and that's going to teach me not to pay attention at the next pre-production meeting.
No, because he's updated everybody else's show, and he's degraded the music to this show. But I like it. It's better than the stuff we've been playing for the last year. So continue.
So degraded, huh? Degraded. All right.
Degraded, demoted.
All right. Somewhere online or somewhere in the world, John Coutis. There he is. If you're streaming live, you're going to see our little buddy from down under on the screen right about now.
Why do we got to go? Why do we gotta start with the little buddy? John, what's up with that, man?
I have absolutely no idea whatsoever.
He sounds like the machine that Pete uses right now, man.
You know what? If we weren't on an FCC approved station, John would be having plenty of words for you right now.
John, did you have a chance to listen to the last interview with Pete Gustin?
Yes, I did. I did indeed. And what a great voice he has.
Well, you're not too bad yourself, my friend.
Well, thank you.
Now, I would put you in the erotica section, completely different section, but that's another story altogether.
You want us to leave the room so you and John can spend some quality time together? Is that what you want?
Should we dim the lights?
Wow.
You know what? Could you?
For a good time, call 1-800-855-693-GUY.
See, John, that double five just rolled right off.
I know you wanted to call in, and you want today. You know, it was funny because John wanted to pick a topic, and you said you wanted to talk about Pistorius.
Are you guys getting a lot of that over there on the TV?
Too much.
You know what's funny is we do it. Anytime it's that sensationalized, we get a ton of it. But what's funny is we always joke here in America. I think it had more to do with the fact that his girlfriend was smoking hot. If she,
was she a great sort?
Oh yeah, if she'd been butt ugly like Arvin, nobody would have given a rat's ass.
You know what?
She's the type of girl where you go, "How you doing?"
So come on, if you had to guess from the gut, I mean, what do you think? Did he do it? Did he not do it?
Oh look, there's even speculation now that he's came out and actually fired a gun in a loaded restaurant and tried to get one of his mates to take the blame.
Right, I heard that.
And there's so much speculation, but I mean, he's just going to go down the O.J. Simpson style.
Hey, I was going to say, man,
there was too much media and they couldn't get an outcome.
If it doesn't fit, you must have quit. I mean, we got to have some sympathy for the brother. He's got no legs.
So?
I was waiting for that one.
Apparently, the police wanted to put him on home detention, but they couldn't put the ankle bracelet on him.
To put it around his neck. Well,
they've come up with some better technology to keep him at home. They put a cattle grid at his front door.
But you know what? It's not. I mean, it's not being disputed whether he did it or not. It was disputed is whether he did it like in the way he claims that he thought it was this
malice,
right,
murder, or self-defense.
Right.
Well, how can it be self-defense? What, she was locked in a bathroom, for goodness sake. And well, what about his defense when the poor neighbor was on the bench or in the box? He's saying to her, "Are you sure it was a lady's voice? Because I do know that Oscar's voice, when he's threatened, he does squeal like a girl." Are you serious?
Hey, you know,
when they took away his legs, they ripped his nuts out as well. Stop, mate. Get serious here, people. I killed somebody.
Hey! Allegedly, even in South Africa, you're innocent until proven guilty. Come on.
Fair enough. Well, I mean, what you want to do? Go to jail for 25 years, then come out and be president? Isn't that how they do it over there?
This is true.
Well, that's a low blow.
No.
That's blowing low.
What?
Are we talking about, what's his name?
Oh, Arvin. Mandela?
I was gonna say Obama, but I knew that wasn't right.
Man, I had the pleasure of meeting Mr. Mandela, and what a great, humbled human being. Probably in fact, the most humbled I've ever met in my life. And not am I ever putting Oz in the same bracket as Mr. Mandela. You know, it's just a very strange thing that he's done over there.
Well, you know, and I also had a question for you. Down where you're at, I meant to ask you, because I know we haven't talked since the Olympics, but how many, I couldn't even remember, but how many Olympians did Australia send?
I think not very many. I think you can probably count them on both hands.
Okay, because
we did break a few records. We had the first woman in Australia that's gone from Summer Olympics to Winter Olympics in Yana Pittman, who was a track athlete who then went to join the bobsled.
Okay, her and Lolo Jones did that.
Who?
Lolo Jones from America. She also did the same thing.
Australian athletes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
He's like, who cares about Americans? We're talking about Australians right now, man. Shut your trap.
Yeah, look, how did you guys feel about the Olympics? I think they were a little bit disheartened. There was a lot of speculation with the tracks and the snow tracks and the half pipes and things like that. That they should have been a lot better than what they were.
Those were horrible conditions, man. Those were nowhere near Olympian standards for them to be doing all that.
For that? Do we blame the people that went over to inspect it? Do we blame the people that built it? Where does the buck stop?
Well, if we're gonna blame anybody, I usually go for the scapegoat in the office and say it was Julio. But I know he wasn't out in Russia. I don't know. It's kind of hard because you're talking about Mother Nature. I mean, they can make it perfect, but if it starts to snow, what can you do?
Mother Nature, my backside, Mother Nature. Are you serious?
Hey, you know what's funny though is what we need to do for the next Olympics is start an ice company.
We have one.
I was
it's
reading,
in Vernon.
They brought in 25 or 30 guys whose only job at an astronomical cost, several $1 million, was to water the ice
and then put salt on it.
Put salt,
right.
Monitor the hills, the snowpack. I mean, that's spectacular.
And if you ever notice, they were always in the background doing something. So it's not like they were just sitting there.
Well, Mother Nature, though,
but how do you control it?
cooperating.
Right. How do you control something that's out of your control? So apparently John doesn't agree with that.
Well,
No, look, I'm not talking about Mother Nature here. I'm talking about the construction of these things beforehand, before Mother Nature disrupted a few things and whatever else. I'm talking about, the size of the pipes and the angle of the downslopes and things like that. They weren't up to specifications that they should have been, and something needs to be taken ahead of that.
Now, if that is the case, then yes, that is some BS. But maybe I'm wrong, but I don't ever remember hearing any complaints about indoor sports. It was all the outdoor stuff, the skiing, the half pipe, all that stuff. I don't remember hearing anything else.
All right. Well, let's go a little bit further now. Let's go to figure skating. All right. And we're looking at the young South Korean girl that should have won the gold medal, but it was awarded to the young, 17-year-old Russian girl.
John.
Are you saying there was some favoritism going on?
Are you talking conspiracy, John? Because, they've already debunked it. Just because there was 3 Russian judges, 2 Russian consulate members on the oversight committee, and a 3rd Russian who oversaw the whole program.
Oh, I didn't know all that. That's conspiracy right there, man.
Why you got to be like that?
Well, look, I'm going to get off the fence because I hate getting splinters in my bum, and I'm going to say yes, there was. That poor South Korean girl was absolutely heartbroken. She did plenty enough to win that gold medal, and it should have been awarded to her. And there were a lot of commentators, worldwide commentators, that would agree with me.
Yeah, I did see the program, and I agree with you, but. They say that in what is it, ice skating or ice dancing, whatever that particular category was, they say it's commonplace for those countries to pick their people.
That's just ridiculous, isn't it? I think, why don't we get neutral judges on there? When an American skater is out there, there are no American judges. And when there's, a Canadian skater, there's no judges at all. So I think,
John, I got the silver lining for you. I got 2 options. One is one is FIFA, which is around the corner, and then we got the Special Olympics coming.
How the hell is that options?
Those are options.
He's talking about fixing the ice skating program, and you're telling him to go look at soccer or football
or Special Olympics.
What the hell are you doing?
It's just he's very excited because this is the first time he's actually participating in the Special Olympics. They finally let him in.
I think he might be competing himself at the Special Olympics, don't you think?
I am. Yeah. I actually am.
What he's doing, Twinkie eating.
Ooh, Twinkie eating.
Did you say Twinkie eating?
Twinkie eating, brother. Twinkie. Hey, John, we've only got about 1.5 minutes left, but I wanted to ask you, how was your last trip? Where'd you go?
My last was fantastic, boys. I've been to America. Sorry, not to America.
I was like, what?
America would come to see you.
Whoa. I think you just let the cat out of the bag, John.
The truth came out.
Wow. Yeah. Oh, there you go.
What part of America were you in, John?
If I had a foot right now, it'd be stuck right in my mouth.
Well, if you were here now, I know where my foot would be right now.
I don't know if my bum's big enough to take your foot, is it? It's huge. And look, I was in China, and I do a lot of work in China, as you know, but the day is coming closer, boys. We leave here on the 25th of April, and we touch down at 6:30 in the morning on the 25th of April at LAX, and we've got a few days there in town to get over the flight and see a few things before we do our trip right around the country, going down towards south and over to the south coast on the west side, then up into New York and coming back the top side, the north border there, then back down into LA again. And I cannot wait to get on that desk with you boys and see
right here, man. Right here in front of Phil.
John, it's always a pleasure talking to you, and trust me, I understand. I understand how just the average Joe can confuse America for China.
Hey, listen, give me a break. That's the first stuff up I've made. Man,
So, all right, we were just talking to John Travolta, and we, appreciate his snub there. John, have a great weekend. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, boys. I'll see you soon, eh?
Take care.
Everybody, this is the Three Guys Rant on NBC News Radio, KCAA 1050. We'll be back.
A superior tequila has arrived. A tequila that never compromises integrity for mass production. Taste the heart of Mexico in every bottle. For superior tequila, there's only number one. Number one tequila.
Been in an accident? Then you need your vehicle professionally repaired. That's exactly what you get when you bring your vehicle to Greg's Auto Body Repair. 3 quotes within minutes. We will provide everything you need for a hassle-free auto body repair, from an accurate estimate to working with your insurance company. We will get your vehicle to its pre-accident condition as soon as possible. Greg's Auto Body has been serving Los Angeles County and local cities since 1970. Call us at 562-789-1300.
Hey, bro, this is a good game. You know what would make it better?
What, bro?
A michelada.
A michelada? What's a michelada?
A michelada is somewhere in the middle of a Mexican Bloody Mary and a Mexican margarita.
Oh, I got you covered, bro.
You got a cup in your pocket?
No, sir. I got my pocket-sized michelada. Mucho macho michelada.
Pocket size?
Pocket size, so you can take it with you anywhere you go.
Where'd you get that at?
At the nearest convenience store, and you can also buy it at muchomachomichelada.com.
You know what will make it better? After we get drunk, if they had a line we can call.
We can call their drunk line. You can leave a message and then log on to the site and listen to your stupidity afterwards.
What's that number?
It's 855-MICHE-69.
What's that number again?
855-MICHE-69.
Awesome. Mucho macho michelada.
Looking for a delicious, fresh family meal that's ready when you are and easy on your budget? Welcome to Piara Pizza. We make our pizzas with handmade dough, 100% real cheese, and tomato sauce blended with our own spices. Nothing is ever frozen. We always have large pepperoni and cheese pizzas fresh and waiting for you for only $5. Or choose one of our specialty pizzas. We have veggie, meat lovers, supreme, and Hawaiian. Add an order of our amazing hot wings, cheesy bread, or breadsticks. Our locations are ultra-modern, ultra-clean, and open 7 days a week. Visit any one of our locations today, or check us out on the web at www.piarapizza.com. Piara Pizza. Fresh, hot, and ready for you when you come in. Stop in for your Piara Pizza today.
I cut my diamond in the flesh. I cut my teeth on wedding rings in the movies. And I'm not proud of my address. In a torn up town, no postcode envy. But every song's like gold teeth, gray goose dripping in the bathroom, blood.
Are we good? Are we good? All right, this is the Three Guys Rant on NBC News Radio, KCAA, 10:50 a.m. I love the music, but good Lord, I never know when the mics go on.
I think our engineer doesn't want to hear your voice anymore, man.
I think because he's keep turning up the volume.
You know, but can you blame him?
Now, let me ask you a question. Did you know what yesterday was?
Yesterday was what, Tuesday?
You're a freaking moron.
What?
So you have no idea what yesterday was?
Yeah, the day after Monday.
Well, yeah, tomorrow's Thursday and today's Wednesday.
Right.
But
so what's your point?
But today, well, every day that we come in, we say it's Fat Wednesday, Fat Thursday, Fat Friday.
Yeah, it's Fat Tuesday. But for you, it's Fat every day.
That's what I'm saying. Why do you have to call it Fat Tuesday? Because for us, every day is Fat something or other. So it's it's time to go down to Mardi Gras. Or actually, I guess it ended yesterday. I'm a little behind. But today's being Ash Wednesday. I wish I would have remembered that yesterday was Fat Tuesday.
Hey, what's up with you, man? I don't see no ashes on your forehead, you heathen. Aren't you supposed to go get blessed?
I'm waiting till I get home. I'm waiting till I get home. I got dirt in the backyard. I don't need to go to church.
Yeah, that's true.
You just bless it, put a little water in there, and put it on your forehead.
That's right.
You know, as a matter of fact, come to the house afterwards. I'll put it on.
It's funny. I was working in a predominantly Latino neighborhood today, making some visits, and I see all these people walk around with something on their forehead. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with all these morons, man?
Like,
don't they look in the mirror before they leave the house? You know, but it's like, oh, crap. All right, now I know what it is.
God, I swear, I don't know what to do with you sometimes.
What do people? I mean, okay, Ash Wednesday. What does that mean? Is this the beginning of Lent, or is it the end? What
it's
I don't know.
The beginning of Lent.
So people are supposed to give up something, right, for Lent?
Right. You know what I'm giving up for Lent?
What?
Lent.
All right.
So for 40 days, I'm not talking about Lent.
For 40 days, I'm not gonna clean the lint from my belly button. So I'm gonna do Lent for Lent. All right. Hopefully, by the end of 40 days, we can,
make some socks?
Yeah, maybe some socks or some
With all the
gloves or
lint
something,
in
man.
your lint?
That's right. So
that means no more meat on Fridays.
Yeah, right.
Which means that with any luck, Filet-O-Fish is 99 cents at McDonald's.
Nah, man, they jacked it up. Now it's like $1.59, man.
That was their whole gimmick. It was 99 cents, Filet-O-Fish Fridays.
Right. Not anymore.
You know what? We're pulling them as a sponsor. Give them a call. We're cutting them out.
That's right.
And then the other thing I wanted to talk about, I don't know if you've heard about this, and I briefly heard about it, but I don't know how much truth is in it. There is a petition. There we go. I'm glad I remember because I can remember the word. There's a petition going around.
That's a pretty difficult word right there. So
I don't use it much, man. It's not part of my A to Z. There's a petition going around to where they're trying to make opening day a national holiday for baseball.
For baseball, okay.
Right. What do you think?
It's the stupidest idea I've ever heard.
How many people do you know actually go to work on opening day? I know lots of people.
But more people
that get sick
all
of a sudden.
Okay, more people go to work than go to opening day. All right?
I don't know about that.
Come on, man.
Maybe the Mexicans are a little more motivated than the ones I know.
Nah, man. It's just that's stupid.
Is it baseball?
Okay, so if that's the case, why don't they make the Monday after Super Bowl a holiday because everybody's hungover and a lot of people miss work
because baseball is a national pastime.
Yeah, of where?
Of America.
Have you seen the attendances to some of the stadiums? I mean,
that's my point. It's opening day though. Opening day is always the one that's different. So, what are your thoughts on a petition going around trying to make opening day a national holiday?
I like it.
Thank you.
I really do, and I agree with Arvin, which really stresses me out when I agree with Arvin. But when I read it, it made sense. It's one of the oldest American pastimes, for lack of a better term.
Now,
it's rooted in heritage, and I like the fact that if they did make it a holiday, because look, nothing against all these other people, like Washington, Lincoln. We have these birthdays. Somebody's going to yell at me because I said MLK.
They're like, baseball? We don't need no stinking baseball.
But that's the whole thing. I think that opening day, yeah, I think it should be a holiday.
Now, if we follow what Canada's doing, the whole country came to a screeching halt the other day during the hockey finals in the Olympics. I mean, I think there was even cameras in I don't know if it's called Congress or not, but in the room where, is it Rob Ford, the mayor?
Yeah.
He stopped and he starts jumping around and everything else when they won. So I would say, why not? Why not? If it's going to make everybody a little bit happier and bring people closer together, if it's for the one day, and then after they get pissed off leaving Dodger Stadium because they can't get out for 90 minutes and then they want to stab the guy next to them, you know what? The 90 minutes before that, let's go ahead and do it.
Yeah, but when does it stop? I mean, if Major League Baseball gets through with this, the NFL is going to want to do something.
No. I didn't say football. I didn't say basketball. I didn't say none of that. I said
they're going to want to do the same thing.
I said the country's
Yeah,
pastime.
but you know what, though? In all fairness, first of all, football, it's on the weekend.
And it's bigger than baseball.
Yeah, but it's not a pastime, though. I agree with you. I mean, I prefer football over baseball any day. I think the stupidest sport on the planet is basketball, so they should never get anything. But baseball...
Except for millions.
I like the fact, that they play outside. I agree with Darwin about it being more of a familial experience. I think it is.
I'm pretty smart. I don't remember saying all that.
I agree that I would like to see opening day be a universal holiday or even a flex holiday. Okay, fine. Don't make it a national one where everybody has to pay and it becomes all this, but it should be a flex holiday. One of those, in this country, you have the option without any penalty about taking that day off.
No, there's no penalties if you call in sick, other than if your boss sees you on the TV screen.
Yeah, and that's a huge. Or what happens if you happen to get seats to where your boss is 5 seats over, man? Then what do you? Sorry, I'll see you tomorrow. I mean, So who knows, man? Who knows?
You know what's funny?
I think I would sign it, and I think I've been to one opening day in my entire life.
Oh, it's that important to you that it should be a holiday, but you've been to one.
Because I go to work.
Okay. Anyways, it's kind of sports related, but there was a basketball game on, and you know how they have in the different arenas they had the kiss cam,
right?
Well, there's a timeout or something, even at Dodger Stadium they do the kiss cam. This guy apparently they put the cam on this couple.
Right.
She was smoking hot. The dude wasn't ugly, but I knew he figured, okay, she's smoking hot. Chances are I
already know where this is going.
Did you see that?
No. But I'm hoping you go where I think you're going.
No. What happened was they put the kiss cam on him, and everybody's pointing at him, letting him know. And he opens his pocket and pulls out a sign and opens it and says, "She's my sister." So this guy went to the game prepared, knowing that because of his smoking hot sister, they may put the kiss cam on him.
Yeah,
so he had a little sign. So the crowd went wild, dude. So talk about being prepared, man.
Yeah, I didn't see that one coming. I thought you were going to say that they weren't even together. He's like, screw it, I'm taking advantage of making out with this hot.
No, man, it was funny because the guy thought about that. Amazing, man.
I don't know.
Now, let me ask you something. How crappy? Obviously, if you're going to commit suicide, I'm not making fun of people who are that depressed are going to commit suicide. But how crappy does your life have to be if you try to kill yourself by climbing into the tiger enclosure at a zoo?
That already sounds like a painful way to die.
Well,
that wouldn't be on my top 100.
But the tigers reject you. They don't attack you.
Not even scratch, nothing.
Yeah, they scratched him. They were pulling him by his shirt, and they were able to go in there, and put the tigers down, with tranquilizers to get the guy out. But
was he able to, after the scare wore off, was he able to get in his car and go home?
Yes.
Oh, so they really didn't do nothing.
They didn't do anything to him, man.
Hey.
So it's one of the things. I mean, it's what do you do after that? It's like your life is so crappy. You want to be eaten by tigers, and they won't touch you.
So you're such a failure, you fail at killing yourself.
Right. Where do you go from there?
You go to church or something, man.
That happened to a guy in China, by the way, man.
Can tigers sense the negativity you've been carrying around?
Maybe the tigers didn't like Chinese.
Maybe he smelled a little funny.
Maybe if he was Mexican, maybe the tigers like Mexican. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's not racist at all, man. That's
All
not
right.
racist at all.
I'm just saying, man.
But anyways, the engineer's letting me know we got a caller here. Caller, are you with us?
Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Well, hello. This is Linda Gross.
Linda, how you doing?
I'm doing awesome. How are you?
I'm doing great. Now, for anybody listening, this is Linda Gross, and you're a writer of books. I mean, how else can I better describe you?
Yes, that's exactly right. I'm a writer, speaker.
Now,
all above.
Now, and I know we got a couple minutes here. We got about 3 minutes. I was looking forward to the call because, in my opinion, she's unlike most other women. She's an advocate for men being men. Now, does that include all the entire spectrum, everywhere from being a successful businessman to getting women in bed?
It certainly does. Yes, it applies to all races, colors, creeds, nationalities, religion, all of it, all men, anyone that has testosterone.
Now I love that because most women are just ball busters and want the complete opposite of that.
Yep, I feel that they've been ball busting for 40 years now, and to me, I'm saying it's enough is enough.
Now, what
I'm here to give the voice back to men.
what is the name of the book? How can people find it? Where can they buy it?
Yeah, they can find it on Amazon, and they would just type in Mastering Women on Amazon.
Now, is that the only book you've written?
I have a couple of other books, but that's the primary book that I'm promoting right now.
Okay, and
I have a little mini book that's for business called The C Factor, and I will have one coming up for the teens, and that's coming up probably in a couple of months.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, you are all for men being men, but you do specify that you don't recommend men being cocky, being arrogant, being players, or none of that stuff. So you're talking about men actually being men and not just being ignorant.
Right. The way that I define it is right now I find that men are on two sides of the spectrum. They're either cocky and arrogant, which is on one end, or they're resigned and they're sitting in the corner saying, woe is me, and waiting for the girl to hit on them. Both of these men are operating from a place of fear. So when you see someone who is cocky and arrogant, that's really fear. Because somebody who is a man for real wouldn't have to play those games.
That's right. I told you, man.
Somebody who is authentic already is a man.
Now,
and I'll give you a parallel example. Say for someone that's already beautiful, she doesn't have to run around saying, "Oh, I'm beautiful." Somebody who's rich, somebody who's educated, somebody who's smart, they don't have to run around boasting, here's my IQ and, here's how much money I have in the bank. They just are. Okay, so I want to bring men back to balance. I want to bring men back to their authentic self.
All right, Linda, and I know we're coming down here to the segment. We'd love to have you call back in and talk in more detail. But how can people find you? What's your Twitter? What's your Facebook?
Yeah, go on my website, which is themensadvocate.com. That's themensadvocate.com. You can find me on Twitter, and the initials are DT4M. That's short for Dating Tips for Men, the number 4, DT4M. You can find me on Facebook, DT Linda Gross.
All right, Linda, thank you very much for calling in. And again, everybody, that is another episode of the Three Guys Rant here on NBC News Radio, KCAA 1050 AM. And make sure to check us out.
She